everyone. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 23 of the Film Bros Championship Podcast. I am Tim. With me is my co-host, Patrick. How you doing, buddy?
Tim, let me tell you about the times of high adventure.
High adventure.
Oh, is it your Macau impression?
It's an attempt.
All right.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are reviewing Conan the Barbarian.
About time.
Yeah. And hopefully in the editing process, I'll see if I could just do a quick snippet of some drums kicking. We'll see.
Boom, 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 boom. Hell yeah.
I really liked how they really didn't overuse it.
No, I mean, the movie starts off with it. I mean, actually,
yeah, it does.
Hilariously enough, starts off with a quote from Friedrich Nietzsche.
Yeah. It's a little all over the place time-wise, but all right.
That which does not kill you makes you stronger. And and that's pretty much the theme of the whole movie. That is Conan's thing.
Yeah.
He just, every time he gets beaten down, he just gets stronger as a result.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
It is cool.
But it's still like, German philosophy. That's an interesting way to start an action movie. Let's go.
I mean, at least the narrator wasn't narrating that. I think that would have been worse.
If Macau had done it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think they just kind of left it up there, but that's fine. But yeah, I was really taken back by it because like the whole beginning rips and you're like, awesome, this is so great. And then I kind of forgot about it, and then all of a sudden when it kicks in again, you're like, oh man, thank you for the reminder. This song is so awesome.
That's a great score.
It is. But I guess this is technically your pick. So I guess you are going to give the rundown.
Okay. Conan is a... You know what? Here we go.
He's Sumerian.
Conan the Barbarian is a boy who turns into a slave, turns into a gladiator, turns into a thief, turns into a mercenary, and turns into a hero. There you go.
Wow. That was impressive.
Yeah. That's how we do things.
Yeah. Wait for the last review episode to do it. Yeah. Bam. Mic drop. You're like Joker, who's just like, I just want to go see some horses. I want to see my horses.
Jokic. Okay.
All right. So I guess we'll get right into it and go with hero, right? Like Conan.
Yeah. This is Schwarzenegger's first big lead role.
Right. But he's been in other things
before. He's been in some things, small stuff. This is his first, we're spending money on you.
Right.
This is because you were born for this role. And
they're not going to dub him.
No, they definitely don't dub him in this.
Yeah.
But you don't give him a ton of lines, but a lot of his Conan's thoughts is just on his face. Yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm watching this, really underrated facial actor.
Totally
you know exactly what he's thinking at all times in this movie just by looking at his face and the mannerisms he's got going on.
And he can put on some looks that will make you chuckle or go, oh, damn.
And he has this super infectious smile.
Yeah.
It's like when he smiles, you want to smile.
Even his dopey laugh, you kind of...
You just like him. Yeah.
Yeah. I said almost exactly the same things. Not that he's like some great actor, but I think he will get better as an actor as he goes. But this movie really didn't ask him to do more than he was capable of doing.
No.
So it just suits, the role just suits what he's able to do at this point. And I think he freaking nails it. And you're right. I said the same thing in my notes. Like, his facial expressions throughout the movie just sells the hell out of it.
Yeah. And to his credit, Arnold was humble enough at this time to constantly ask for help and pointers. So James Earl Jones and Max von Sydow were giving him tips throughout the production.
Oh, cool.
And you could do worse.
Yeah.
Than those two.
For sure. Yeah, and it's not like he had to make that many big monologues or speeches or anything. I think maybe the biggest one is towards the end where he basically tells, F you, Joe Boo, I do it myself.
Wow. This movie predates. I don't know why we have to reference Major League in here, but okay.
I know it predates.
Let's just, shout out to my boy Crom.
Well, no, I get you. I mean, it's not that bad, right? I mean,
Arnold's first to hell with you.
Yeah, it's a pretty memorable one, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The original "I'll be back" is just to hell with you.
Yeah. To hell with you. Yeah. But yeah, he nails it. I think it's good. But yeah, let's I guess should we kick it beat for beat here?
Yeah, I mean the movie starts off with Conan's dad forging a new sword, and that's where we hear the awesome theme by Basil Polidorus. And I want to. Well, you know what else he killed? Frickin' The Hunt for Red October, and I'm saving the best for last year, RoboCop.
Wow.
What a legend.
Did do some good stuff.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. That is like my childhood all wrapped up into one composer.
I know, and because I said it, now the RoboCop theme is stuck in your head.
A little bit.
Yeah.
No, Conan still wins. Conan still wins. It's so awesome.
Okay, so it's been a minute since you've seen RoboCop. That's fine. I love them both.
RoboCop is the bum, 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 bum,
there it is.
Bum, 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 bum. I know RoboCop. It's great. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, Conan, I think, still takes the top spot for me.
Okay. Anyway, while he's... where was I? Okay. So, Dad's forging a new sword and then telling his son about their god Crom and steel. And he tells his son an important lesson. You can't trust men, women, or beasts. Just steel.
Yeah, you can't trust anyone. The only thing you can trust is steel. And so everything always comes back to the sword. And I think almost every time he does have a hiccup throughout the movie, there's always a scene afterwards with him and the sword. Like either training or whatever. Like it's like I have to get centered again. And, and this is kind of what he goes back to. And it was a good delivered speech by the, like even the little bit, like one note kind of parts I thought were done well.
Yeah. William Smith is the guy's name. Yeah, did an excellent job.
Yeah, I looked him up too. I was like, oh yeah, I don't know.
Unfortunately, he gets an axe to the back soon after. And then mauled to death by two adorable dogs in just the cutest little war gear.
Yeah. But the most messed up is the mom.
Yeah, well, like while he's watching his dad get mauled to death by the adorable dogs in the adorable war gear. Like seriously, it's so funny looking on these pups.
Yeah.
He's holding his mom's hand and just kind of like this blank stare, scared look on his face. And then James Earl Jones gets off and his horse and chops his mom's head off while he's holding her hand. It's like, oof, rough day for poor little Conan.
But what a shot, just visually, because you just see this, like he just looks at his hand as his mom's hand is like no longer there type of deal, and it kind of says it all. Like they didn't have to show anything there but that, and it spoke everything, and it was a really cool scene. I thought it was really well shot.
Yeah, no, Miles is on his A game for this thing.
Yeah.
So then, after watching his parents get slaughtered and his whole village on top of it.
Yep. Wipes them off out of existence, basically, is what the narrator tells us.
Macau, yeah.
Yeah.
Conan gets strapped to the Wheel of Pain. I looked that up. I wanted to know more about this wheel.
I was wondering if it's like a granary. Is it a purpose? Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
I
thought a forge at first because all you see in the distance is like a little teepee thing with smoke coming out. I'm like,
yeah,
is it a forge? But I guess this is straight from the books. This part, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
It is the Wheel of Pain.
You do see as they're turning it, you see these like large rock boulder things kind of turning underneath. So that's what I was thinking, like granary, and grinding that stuff up. But yeah, it's a fun scene because it's he gets pushing. And,
it's our first montage. Yeah, he gets strapped to this thing, and he slowly just
pushes it. And as they go and progress, you just see like they keep changing the actors a couple of times to see the thighs getting bigger.
Yeah. There are less and less kids on the wheel, and until it's
Conan's
just Conan
kid
doing it by himself.
Yeah. Kid Conan puts his head down.
Yeah.
And so you don't see his face, so you always see his head down. It was a really cool way to kind of show the progression, and then eventually you see the head come up, and now it's Arnold, and he's jacked. And like you also see as it progresses, there's less and less people on this wheel, and it's just Arnold left. It's just Conan left pushing this thing by himself.
I mean, I understand why the legs would get bigger, but I'm not sure if the biceps would be quite as large as pushing a wheel. So I think Conan was secretly doing some reps somewhere else.
Man. Maybe. Yeah. Did you ever hear like the stories about how like, cause he had to be in the military?
Oh yeah. No,
and how he would just like randomly do war, like during war games, he'd be weirdly working out.
Yeah, I know. He's like doing pull-ups on tank turrets and stuff.
Yeah.
What are you doing, man?
I apparently there was one time where they were stuck like in a trench type thing underneath a tank. And he's like, oh, I kind of getting behind in my workout. And they're all very encouraging. And he just starts underneath the tank and using the tank as his way to start doing like pull-ups and chin-ups and stuff.
He was committed.
Yeah.
Anyway, from there, he gets picked up, I guess, bought by the redheaded man.
Yeah, I was wondering. I don't think that granary, by the way, is run by Thulsa Doom. Like, I think they sold those kids, right? So that's what I was thinking. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then he gets bought again by the redheaded dude who turns him into a pit fighter.
Yeah, which I guess they must be roughly the same age. So they grew up together.
Who?
Because you see in the beginning, and when Kid Conan is changed to the Wheel of Pain, there is a redheaded kid that is pointing like and being like, "Hey, this is what you're supposed to be doing."
Oh, you think?
And then time jumps again, and all of a sudden you see another redhead guy, and now he's older.
I never thought about that. I just assumed it was another slave kid. That's
no, I think Conan grew up with this kid. Basically, I think it was more like this kid thought Conan as a pet because I think it's the same dude that ends up freeing him later on.
Yeah, it is the same guy. Well, as far as the one who buys him off the wheel, but I just assumed the guy's like 20 years older than Arnold Schwarzenegger or more. But that's an interesting theory. I love anyway, so he goes to this pit fighter and he gets successful at that. And then for some reason, the redheaded man brings him to like a special training place. I guess he won the right to.
Yeah, I guess they're like, we don't know what else to do with you, or maybe you're so good in this hole in the wall. We need maybe there's so much more promise we can get out of you, but we got to up your game to face this upper echelon dudes, like take you out of the minors, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love this is where he gets to know the pleasures of women.
Yes.
As he was bred to the finest stock.
Well, yeah, that's what I was like. There's like a line, like I almost seems like they're using him for breeding purposes to gain some huge children or something.
Yeah, no, they literally put him out to stud like a racehorse.
This is crazy.
But he's a gentle racehorse.
Oh yeah, because he clothes her to make her feel okay.
He grabs like a sheepskin blanket or whatever. He's like, no, it's okay. Now take it off.
Yeah, almost immediately lays her down. Like, all right, enough of this.
And I love all like the people just standing around watching, like up face against the bars. Like, yeah, this should be fun to look at. Curves.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then the redheaded guy. Well, first we got to talk about his very first line of dialogue in the movie.
Oh, your favorite dialogue?
Yes. Absolutely.
Are you gonna recite it? You're gonna recite the line?
You're gonna have to ask me the question first.
What is it? What is most important? Is that it?
No, best.
What is best? Yes, Conan. What is best?
Best in life. You got to say.
Best in life.
Man, you totally blew this. You just watched this movie.
I know. I'm embarrassed to write down. Conan, what is best in life?
To cross your enemies, see them jump before you, to hear the lamentation of their women.
What a crazy way to deliver lamentation of the women. Like that is like that's a mouthful.
Hear the lamentation of the women.
Yeah, it's great.
It's awesome.
Yeah, because I think like I'm pretty sure these guys are basically the equivalent of Mongols that he's like surrounded by, and like I guess like the dude's son messes up first. What is best in life? And he's like, no. Then it goes
wrong.
To Conan.
Conan, what is best in life? Cross your enemies.
Yeah, because I guess there's a lot of free time and it can't always train, so they made books and everything available. So he's well learned and read too. Yeah,
he's a book reading man.
Yeah, He's like reading a scroll, I think, before he gets it on with the woman for breeding.
And I don't know, the redheaded guy just feels so bad for him or something like that. And decides just like, you're just too good for this world. You get free.
Yeah, it almost seemed like a
stay gold point.
Like a kid and a dog situation.
Exactly like that.
Yeah,
like, go free.
And
he's
Conan
like,
is confused at first too.
Yeah.
But then he goes on the run. And the part that I was confused about next was, did those people that he escaped from or was freed from, did they send the dogs after him, or did he just come across those dogs a little later on?
I think he just came across those dogs.
Okay.
Like, they're wolves.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming he came because, like, very soon after, because they chase him into a cave where he gets his sword, his Atlantean sword.
Right. Crom's
sword. And then soon after, he's at the witch's place, and Subutai is strung up, like they're having me sit here for the wolves to come get me. That's why I'm like maybe it's a lot of wolves.
Well, no, Subutai was chained up outside the witch's place.
That's exactly what I just said.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said outside the cave.
Okay, no, he said it must be close by.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
Because he's waiting for the wolves. Like, well, there's wolves in this area.
They kind of, because he had a situation. I guess too, I didn't notice. He comes out of that cave, right, and he holds like the sword up, and he's like, yeah, and then you see the wolf go like, and then almost the next shot, you see him wandering around, and he's more clothed, and he's got wolf skins on him, and I never picked up on, he just killed all those wolves and skinned them.
But Miles is like, we're not showing that. Because we want you to still like this man. We're not showing the killing of dogs. But yeah, he absolutely slaughtered all those dogs.
Oh, yeah. It's very nicely, subtly done. Because, I never noticed till now.
I can just play pretend and say, like, it didn't happen.
But, they were mean. They were wolves.
Oh, they were going to kill him. They were trying to kill him. Yeah.
Yeah, it was total. And I guess the way he comes out of that cave totally makes much more sense. Because it's total, like, ho, now I have a machine gun type of thing when he's coming out.
Yeah, he's got this giant sword now.
Yeah. And then we get to the witch, man. The witch freaked me out as a kid.
Really?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Like when she starts turning like vampiric, demonic looking. Mm-hmm. That I don't know. That I thought the effects wise looked still good. Like I was still like, ooh. And then the wailings and the screams as she's thrown into the fire and then shoots out of the fire. I don't know. It was, as a kid, it was kind of freaky.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what, I was really concentrating on this viewing was that, like, before they get it on, he asks, he's like, do you know of the symbol that he saw when his parents' village got raided?
All right.
And she's like, yeah, but there's a price. And, of course, that means they're screwing. That she wants his dong. And
maybe for breeding again. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, probably his seed is used in some spell or something. But
because she is like doing some kind of tongues or speaking something as they're doing it. That I wasn't.
But what I'm laughing about is like when they're getting it on, she's like giving him directions.
Oh, really? Like, is that what it was?
Yeah. She's like telling him where it is. Yeah, I put the subtitles on. I was like, is that what is she doing? So he goes south, and then I'm like, he can't pay attention to this now. Don't give me a list while I'm doing this. I can't do that at the same time.
It's so weird, right? Because, like, if they did want him for his seed, but then it was like a praying mantis situation that she was going to kill him as soon as she got the seed?
I don't know, but she said that there's some, like, prophecy about someone coming from the north.
Right.
And so he was special in some way.
It was weird, but anyway.
Yeah.
And then that's when he finds, what's his name?
Subutai.
Who's also pretty fun, but we'll talk more about him later.
We will.
Yeah.
Conan then goes to the city with Subutai.
Yeah, they get to learn what city environments are like.
Conan's review of cities. The food, great. The smell, terrible.
Right. Yeah. How's the wind get in here? Yeah.
Congratulations, you've joined the Accent Club.
Oh, thank you. It's a little easier. Everybody's got an Arnold.
Yeah, well, we've grown up with them.
That's true.
And we get your favorite part soon after.
Oh, yeah, because they get more directions on trying to find this cult. And he's like, "Hey, but I got this," and he takes something out of a box. I wasn't quite clear exactly what it was.
Something, I missed it, but
it seemed like they were taking shrooms or edibles or something.
Exactly,
basically.
It's some kind of drug.
Yeah.
I was guessing like opium or something like that. But
Yeah.
Arnold gets high as fuck.
Yeah.
And then punches a camel.
Yeah. He bumps into the camel, and it was kind of like, but thinking he got bumped into when clearly he was doing the bumping, and then just knocks this camel out. And then everybody's just staring like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I love the moment. It's so good. Arnold plays it perfectly. And I don't know, it makes me laugh every time, because I think when I first saw it, I was just like, what is happening? Because I'm like not understanding that they're on drugs or anything. You know what I mean? So to me, it just comes off as random as a kid. But I love it. It still makes me laugh.
And there's a bunch of like really good comedy beats that they have Arnold doing in this movie. Like soon after, you got Conan passing out drunk into his soup porridge when the King's guards come and get him.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's great. The girl pulls that off too. Like she's also really important to make that scene funny. But yeah. Because he just falls face first into it.
He's gone.
And then she's like trying to like get his attention, and then he slides right off.
And then you got Conan going undercover as a hippie pilgrim.
Oh yeah, also hilarious. A little weird in the gay stuff going on. Like it was a little odd. Just awkward.
Well, it's John Milius, so he has very conservative opinions. But to be fair, in his defense, all these damn religions always have some kind of abuse angle. So that's the priest definitely thought he was going to get one over on Arnold.
Yeah.
Hey,
sure.
And Arnold suggests, why don't we go back there where no one can see? He's like, yeah, let's go. Let's go get that Huffy.
But he's doing this little like over the top flirtatious that is just again just charismatic and funny to laugh with.
See, I'm shy. I don't want anyone to see me.
It's good.
He's not always the smartest tool in the shed, though. Conan just flashing around the jade pendant that he steals from the snake pit. It's like, great idea until it's not, because he just shows it to the wrong guard, and the guard's like, hey, isn't this the thing that got stolen? And he just like takes it around to like the other lieutenants, like, hey, I think this is the one that got stolen.
Yeah.
It's that guy over there. It all happens in the background, too. Arnold's just like listening to James Earl Jones talk, which I really love.
Yeah. I don't think I ever caught originally that guard being like, wait, what is this?
Yeah.
And then you're really supposed to be paying attention to other things, but you do see the guard going around. I was like, man, I never picked up the guard going around like that before.
Me either.
There's so much stuff that's going on in the background of this whole movie that I never thought this would be a kind of movie where there's stuff going on in the background to notice. Like, so it's weird that I'm catching these things. And how many times have we seen this movie?
And in our defense, like, you're listening to James Earl Jones talk. This is the first time we've seen him since the beginning of the movie. He didn't even really talk. He didn't talk at the beginning.
No, yeah, he just does that like face thing, but we'll talk about that later. But anyway,
so you're just watching him just be charismatic to his cult.
Yeah.
And you're just like, so that's where your focus is on. It's not until like, I don't know how many rewatches this is for us.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, look at that.
For sure. But anyway, so he gets caught.
Yeah, crucified on the tree of woe.
Yes. Yeah, well, he calls it the tree of woe at first. And you're like, oh, yeah. And then you crucify him. I'm like, ooh, okay, now the tree of woe sounds way worse.
I love Conan ripping out the throat of the vulture.
Oh my God, it's fantastic.
It's like
he kind of plays possum a little bit, and then he's just like,
some flesh, and he's just like, wait for it, wait.
Which is like, I love. This is like the beginning of like guttural, stuff from Arnold, like the.
Oh no, that all happens in the beginning with the pit fighting.
Oh no, I know,
but
I'm
confused about what's going to happen.
I'm saying this movie is like the beginning of it, but yes, definitely in the pit you get that for the like on fire during that time, yeah, for sure,
yeah. And then soon after ripping the vulture's throat out, you have him like deliriously laughing as he sees Subutai coming above the hill, and then he goes down. So
and
he
then
doesn't see him. He's like, am I not seeing? Am I seeing things? And then he comes up, and he's like, ah,
yeah.
It's so cool.
And I love the way the music
So
kicks
funny.
in there too. By the way, it is it just feels like a moment that the audience would be like, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Almost kind of reminds me of Get Out when the cop car shows up and then the friend comes out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so now we got to heal Conan, but I feel like that's going to be more talking about the other characters. But anyway, he gets healed. And then he's got to, get back with his steel again. And he is like ready
training
for
session.
Revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is like ready to go. And they're kind of have to be like, yo, like this has to be more than revenge right now. Let's focus.
I like to point out that Conan was not the first person to start slicing and dicing in that scene. And we'll talk about that scene specifically later.
Yeah.
Conan would stay true to his word. It was them other bitches who blew the spot.
Very true. Very true. But anyway, so they go and they rescue the princess. They bring her back, but some sad news happens in between. But anyway, and then they come back to get him, and that's basically the gist of the rest. I feel like there's not a whole lot more to talk about our hero.
How
without
long
getting
do you
into the
think
other
Conan
categories.
had to build those fortifications?
Oh, it's very similar to Rambo in First Blood. But at least Conan's got some help to build his stuff. Rambo just did it by himself.
I guess. I don't know. There are some pretty elaborate traps that Conan built, like many of them.
Oh, for sure. And like the amount of like wooden poles and stuff that they whittled down into pikes to put into the ground for defense
How about the
purposes.
giant spike trap alone?
Yeah.
There's like a pulley system and everything.
For sure. No, it was advanced. I guess he read it in so many manuscripts.
Sure, but like that was fast work. He had maybe like, I don't know, 6 hours?
Because they don't really exactly say. I'm guessing you're assuming it's just the next day or something.
He lights the fire at night, so like they know exactly where he is, and they come by day. So I'm like, man, he didn't have a lot of time, and they don't start working on it until day.
Till daylight, yeah. So it's like that. Maybe they come, mid-afternoon, and they worked real hard that morning.
Yeah. And later, at the final line of the movie, in a time Conan became king by his own hand, but that is a tale for another time. When? When is it time? I want King Conan.
It came up a few weeks ago, like that. I guess Arnold did some big interview, and he talked about a lot of different franchises.
He's got a new show on Netflix, Fubar, and he had his documentary that went with it. And
so Conan came up, and it sounds like it's not a problem on his end. Like he was trying to get it done or something, and like before
he became governor, he was trying to get this done, and like Vin Diesel was going to be playing his son. That was the heavy rumor.
Yeah. I heard it was something
Crown
like
of Iron was the
the son of the original person was going to be behind this new one, and then they were
John
moving
Miles' son.
Yeah, I guess. Unless I'm thinking of a different franchise, he talked about a lot in the interview, and then I guess all of a sudden he's like, you know what, I don't want to do it. And Arnold was like, what? And like I guess he doesn't have the control. Arnold doesn't, and so that's kind of what stalled things out.
Yeah, I think probably Dino De Laurentiis, the company, still owns the rights to it.
Yeah. So it was that is a bummer because I feel like we have been hearing for a long, long time about a possible third one. And of course we had that quick remake that came out.
The Momoa movie, better than you think. It's actually pretty damn good.
I saw it once. I think I rented it and watched it, and I remember being like, all right, it's no Conan the Barbarian, but
No, but it's better than The Destroyer.
I have to rewatch The Destroyer. You love to poop on the Destroyer. I like Destroyer, but okay.
It just goes too comedic.
I have to say, like, one thing too. I'm like, watch this movie. I'm like, you know what? He is surprisingly more clothed than I remember. I guess he's way more shirtless in Destroyer. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Like he's just a lot less clothes in that movie.
It's possible. It's been a minute since I've seen.
Yeah, probably the least amount of clothing he has in this movie is when he's crucified.
I just like to point out that the guy who did Conan the Destroyer also did Red Sonja.
Did? Wow. Okay.
Now he's also made some great movies.
Yeah.
But he He made Amityville 3D, Conan the Destroyer, and Red Sonja all back to back.
Ooh, it's a stretch.
That's rough, man.
Yeah.
But he did Soylent Green, so like he's not without talent.
Yeah.
Tora, that was a good one. Sorry,
I think
we're talking about the Destroyer too much.
Conan's
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
I'm forgetting her name. Conan's significant other in this movie.
Valyria.
Yeah.
Valyria.
She was the queen or villain or whatever in Red Sonja. It has been a real long time since I saw Red Sonja.
Is Sandra Bergman the villain in Red Sonja? No, really?
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah.
Damn.
I looked it up on IMDb. Yeah.
That's funny.
Weird. But yeah, that movie I've probably been the longest out of. I've seen Destroyer more recently than that one.
So what did you give Hero?
I gave Hero a 5.
Wow. Okay. I gave it a 4.5. I was real close.
What took the half a point for you?
Well, I only gave 5 to one other character. To one character this season.
Was it Rambo?
Yeah. And there's a depth to Rambo that I find just more impressive. That I don't see in Conan. Now, Conan's an awesome 4.5. I mean, but whatever. It's
nitpicking. I was just curious what it lost a half point for.
I find both the performance and the character of Conan to be inferior to John Rambo. So I can't put this on equal footing, even though Arnold Schwarzenegger is great in this movie.
Yeah, and they're slightly doing different things. So I mean,
completely different.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, obviously there is no,
and it's
final
I'm probably
scene.
wrong to be viewing it this way. I probably am. I just
went by just in general. How much did I like this hero? And I freaking love this hero.
Yeah,
and there's nothing to dislike about it. And again, to what was asked of this character, what this the actor was supposed to do, I just think was nailed.
Schwarzenegger's perfect.
Yeah,
perfect in this movie.
So anyway, all right, folks. I went 5. You went 4.5. Okay.
Yeah.
Splitting hairs. Exactly. So now we're at villain.
Thulsa Doom.
Thulsa Doom.
What a great name.
It is. It is great. It's almost reminiscent of baseball. How everybody, all his sycophants and followers, just doom during the prayer stuff.
Baseball.
Yeah, you know how at a lot of baseball games, some people will get fixated and just start doing a certain chant of a person's name.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Thanks. But anyway, yeah. So it is crazy how menacing James Earl Jones is with no dialogue and not being a particularly big, scary person, but just his presence that he brings, the stares that he gives in the beginning is a little scary.
It's fascinating that this character starts off as being a man of no words, and then, we don't see it happen, but he transforms himself in the years into a cult leader who can control people with words.
Right. Yeah, he I guess he was searching the world for what he thought was most important, which was steel. So he was somebody that thought very similar to Conan, that steel was what was important. And I guess that's why he was there at that village. But yeah, then becomes he knows what is stronger, and that is flesh. And that was a awesome scene.
It's an incredible monologue. He solves the riddle of steel, and he tells Conan what it is.
Yeah,
it's actually, and he's right.
Yeah,
it's from the villain's perspective, but he's 100% right, and lays out the whole theory of this movie is that it's flesh, the will, that is stronger than anything else.
Yeah,
the will to overcome.
And then he just looks up to one of his followers and does the "Come to me,
come to me, my child." Yeah,
yeah, and she just goes and just falls to her death. And it's just it just hammers it home so amazingly well. It was awesome.
And it's a testament to James Earl Jones just being so cool
Yeah.
That he can still look intimidating and scary in that like laid back Rick James wig that they got him wearing in this thing.
Yeah. this long, straight flowing locks he's got. Yeah.
And they do a great job of slowly building up how scary Doom is before we even really get into this cult.
Yeah.
Because we just hear about like the snake people. Then they go to the Temple of Set, and when they go to the Temple of Set, they see like this woman going to sacrifice herself. Sacrifice herself. We don't even know what's going to happen. We know that she's going to be sacrificed. Pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But she jumps herself into the snake pit because of the power of Doom.
Right. Nobody's pushing her or anything. She just goes in her own fruition there.
Yeah. She's running for vibes.
Right. You get the story from Max Sidao that he's like, this dagger comes from this son who just killed his father because of Doom.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, dude killed his dad for Doom. Like, dang.
Exactly.
I mean, and again, even from the beginning where he doesn't say a word and he just gives this look. It almost looks like I don't know. He's got so many different like gradual facial expression changes in that one scene where he gives almost like puppy dog eyes at first, and then like almost convinces Conan's mom to drop the sword that way, and then you see this look of like, you're dumb. You shouldn't have done that, kind of deal. And then it turns into this like angry look as he's swinging the sword to cut the head off. And it's just like, wow, like so much he's doing in his face there alone to make him a scary dude. And he hasn't even spoken yet.
So can we talk about how like Doom's children are clearly supposed to be the Manson cult hippies?
Oh, yeah, for sure. With the flowers and everything that they got they're going
Miles
and traveling
is definitely working through some stuff. I'm like, I hate these effing people.
For sure, and they're all like, put down the blade, man, and kind of like love, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Damn hippies.
But it's so funny that Conan's like going undercover with it and the camel and everything. And
yeah. Can we talk about the snake orgy?
Yeah. So clearly there's got to be some orgy connection here. So, okay. They were all boning doing it at first.
Well, they're not really doing it. They're like just grinding on each other. No one's...
I don't know. Because you kind of cut away. You don't get to fully see everything. But you see, forgetting his name again, thief archer sidekick guy.
Subutai.
Thank you. Subutai is clearly like enjoying what he's watching. So he's...
This is paradise.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, there are naked women, but no one's like going to Pound Town. They're just like grinding on each other, like moving to the music.
They also were definitely taking stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So by the end of it, it looked like everybody's basically being passed out as Doom is turning into a snake.
Yep. Turns into a giant snake, which is a really cool effect. Always really weird and creepy.
I'm wondering if it was like they're all doing this and then he's going to eat them as a snake. Was that?
I don't know, man.
That's what I was wondering.
They had that human body part soup thing going on too. And I see that one girl like snack and like bite off one of the fingers, like
yes. I never noticed that one either before. Oh man, I noticed like there being body parts in it, but I never noticed the human bodies being strung up and opened in the room, in the cooking room before we even get into the room. Like as they're sneaking in, you're seeing these strung up bodies. I never noticed that in the background before.
Yeah.
I always noticed like the hand that when he's stirring stuff, I always noticed that. But I never noticed the strung up bodies. And then I never noticed her taking a bite of the hand as she gets her like that.
Yeah. It's like in this green pea soup thing too. It's just like,
oh
no, it's green too? That's so gross.
It looks like something
you see
Exorcist.
Yeah, no, you see green pea soup, you think The Exorcist immediately.
Well, for sure.
But anyway, after the heroes get away with the princess, he's James Earl Jones delivering like, man, probably the line of the movie outside of Arnold's first one. Now they will know why they are afraid of the dark. Now they will learn why they fear the night.
Yes, and then he just takes the snake and seek, which is cool.
He takes the snake, straightens it out.
Yeah.
Tells it to sneak and turns it into an arrow or whatever. And kills Valeria. No one ever says her name, so it's hard to know how to pronounce it.
I know. Because I did see it in IMDb.
Valeria.
And I was like, I don't even know.
Valeria.
But anyway. So yeah. takes out Conan's love interest. So dang, and his mother. Dang. So yeah, he's done a lot of damage.
Yeah, and he tries to like talk his way out of death at the very end.
Yeah, where he does the whole "I made you."
Yeah, what will you have without me in the world?
Yeah,
I am the one who gave you the strength.
yeah.
I did this for you.
Your purpose in life will cease to exist if I am dead.
Yeah,
which is like, it's not a bad speech, and then you do see Conan actually, gives a look of like,
what do I do after
shit?
this? Yeah.
Like he might have a point.
Yeah.
But then he's like, I'm just chopping your head off. Boom.
Yeah.
Which is nice because it was not a one fell swoop. It was a chop.
I was going to do this in action,
yeah.
but yeah, it's a dull bladed broken sword that he used.
It was nice.
So what'd you give Villain?
I gave Villain a 4.
I also did give it a 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's never a physical threat, really.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what really takes it away.
Yeah, that's exactly the reason. Yeah.
And honestly, I would have liked more. I could have used even more because that's how great the performance is. I would have loved to have more James Earl Jones in this movie.
I mean, who knows? Maybe it wouldn't have been as threatening if you did have more of him. I really don't know. But there was so much. Like I wouldn't like. What would you trim to make room for more Doom? Would be the problem.
Wouldn't trim anything. I would just
make it a longer movie.
Yeah.
It's such a nice, tight movie. I don't know.
You're not wrong. But let's move on.
Yeah.
This should be interesting. This next one.
Dum dum boom. So I guess the first action sequence is in the village getting destroyed.
Yeah, the raiding of the village.
Yeah. A lot of people getting chopped in the back.
A lot of quick cuts.
Yeah. You see blood on the sword, but that's about it. It's interesting. I do feel like the movie gets bloodier as the movie goes.
I think you're right.
It doesn't really start off with blood splatter going everywhere, but you see a lot of that towards the end.
Well, you see a bit more of it in the pit fighting too.
Right.
But
really
again, it starts kicking into high gear. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens a bit later, but yeah. But even then you do see some blood, but it's not like someone's getting slashed and then and blood spurting out type of deal, which you do get to see more of later on. I would say after the pit fight.
So what did you think of the first pit fight?
I mean, yeah, it was pretty good. I thought it was the skinny guy with the sharp teeth is kind of freaky looking, right?
Yeah, it goes for Arnold's neck. Doesn't quite get there. Can't reach.
Yeah, there's not too much muscle in the way. And I guess it was a little slow in that part.
Well, it's funny because Arnold's Conan is really confused. He's like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. No one has talked to me. I'm just in this pit. And he's, why are you hurting me? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like,
and he's like
a lot of screaming like that.
Yeah, a lot of guttural noises in that. And then he's like, he's kind of getting locked up and bitten. So he's like, and then he's like pulling his arm back and then hitting. And so it's like a little bit of a slower action to begin with. So it didn't look bad. It just was like, I don't know, it's probably the slowest action beat of the movie almost.
And then we get a montage for more pit fighting. I really like the one when they have him in the outfit where he's got the spikes on the elbows and he just digs those into the guy's neck.
Just jams it down. Yeah. And he's got his whole little salute type of thing. Lots
of blood in this. It's cool.
Yeah. It's fun. I like his little salute, and you do see a lot of blades to the like the shoulder meets the neck area. But it is montaged and it is pretty quick.
Yeah, and I wrote down here in action, appreciate for how bloody the movie is. John Miles does not show Conan killing the wolves. So the next action beat is the snake fight, the giant snake fight in the snake pit.
Yeah.
I'll say this: the giant snake looks really cool.
I agree. I'm impressed for this era. I mean, I think in most movies it would have looked very different.
Yeah, it doesn't move very fast, that's for sure, but it still looks cool. And
I think they shoot it in a way that's favorable to the
Yeah.
way the snake looks too. So you do see one quick, like his head is up, but then it's quick movement after that where, Conan stabs him through basically the mouth area, and then the subtu whatever is shooting arrows. Subutai is shooting the arrows to get it stuck, and then cut off the head, and so it was pretty quick.
Fun fact: the person who actually shot the arrows, and those are real arrows going into the head of the snake, was John Milius himself.
Huh.
Who had a little competition on set, decided he was the best archer, and so he's legit shooting arrows near Arnold Schwarzenegger's head into the snake.
Wow. Oh. That would make me a little uncomfortable.
I would love to know what Schwarzenegger thought of that at the time. Real arrows?
Real acid? My eyes, the goggles do nothing.
That's right. But it's not a very impressive looking fight. It ends pretty quickly.
It's quick. I do like, it's not bad. It's just quick. And then you get them climbing up the rope, and then she has like a cool move that you've probably seen like in 1,000 action movies where she, ties the rope around somebody's neck, pushes them, and then that propels her up. So it's like, oh, cool. I've seen that move a lot, but it's cool. Always a good time.
Bergman was a trained dancer. She was in All That Jazz before this.
Okay.
And something about dancers pull off action exceptionally well. Like they know how to
because it's choreography.
Yeah, exactly right. And they know how to. They can always pull it off.
Yeah. But she's also I'll wait for that later. But yeah, then she jumps into the pool, which is nice little stunt, I guess.
You want to live forever?
Yeah, that's a line that keeps coming back. It's nice.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but then the action subsides for a while, and then we have these are the demons. They're trying to take Conan's spirit away. I enjoyed the animated demon things. They were cool looking.
You
didn't like
weird.
it, huh?
Okay, no. So, okay, when it slowed. Oh man, I don't know if "slow" is the right word, but there's moments where the demons are not moving around as much, and you actually can kind of definitely see them, and they look really cool. But when they're kind of moving all over the place, and then they have to interact with the real people that are there, that's when I thought it looked terrible. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. I'm probably just more wistful for the time where they would bring animated objects into live action.
Yeah,
that.
It's parts of it that looks really cool.
Like the ultimate is the things that drag you to hell and Ghost. That's still the scariest damn thing.
Yeah. Although I haven't watched that since I was a kid, so I don't know if it's more in my head of how freaky it was when I was a kid. Because isn't there like a wailing noise with it too?
Yeah, and they're dragging you to hell, so it's it's scary as fuck. And I haven't watched it in a bajillion years either, just because that scene messed me up. No.
Totally. Like it's ingrained in my brain from watching it probably way too young. Yeah.
Then the next
it's not supposed to be a scary movie.
Yeah, I know. The next action beat is the raid of Doom's temple
to get the princess
into the snake orgy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Subutai is the first one to start chopping down a dude.
Yeah, it's one of them. They totally. It's either him or her that takes someone out first for sure.
I mean, it's barely a minute of sneaking around.
Yeah.
And they were they swore, swear, we're just going in there, get the girl and leave. And he's and Arnold's
yeah.
Conan's sure.
Because they do successfully get in there. They do successfully light the linen and stuff like that on fire. But then I don't know if one of them just ran into somebody and then had to slice. I don't know. But
no, he was sneaking up behind him. He's going for it.
Oh, okay.
It's all right, we're going to town.
And then you get oh no, they're gonna get they're surrounded or gonna get stopped. There's so many of them, and that's when the music kicks in again, and Arnold lifts the green pea soup there.
Yeah, the giant cauldron of people body part pea soup, and he just
dumps it, and it does look really cool. They pull it off so well. Such a feat.
This movie does an exceptional job of shooting Arnold Schwarzenegger to make you believe he is the strongest human being alive, which at the time he was.
Right, he's Mr. Universe, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some good action beats in this part. The fight between the two henchmen are fun at this point. The one dude with a hammer, and the other dude, I think, is an axe. I think it's an axe.
Yeah, you got Rexor and Thorgrim.
Yeah.
Thorgrim is the dude with the hammer, and Rexor is the high priest / like #1 lieutenant.
Yeah, and the hammer dude has also got an impressive physique. So
he was also a bodybuilder and like a Conan, an Arnold Schwarzenegger double for a lot of stuff. Not in this movie. Arnold did all his own stunts for this movie.
Okay.
But he would become an Arnold double later on.
So I mean, and that makes
action movies too.
It looked cool seeing them swing these big heavy things. I think I'll say the one thing that was detracting, and I think it was worse in the next action beat than this action beat, is the second priest, the axe wielder, older guy. He clearly had a harder time moving around.
That's Ben Davidson, former Oakland Raider. So I bet you he had some football injuries. Impressive sized, man. Yeah.
He very impressive, but once you get moving, you're like, you really should be kind of taken out here because you clearly are not moving.
No. My favorite action beat actually goes to Valeria. Valeria? Val. I'm going to call her Val from now on. Screw it.
Fair enough. We'll go with it.
Val does this fun Jackie Chan-esque jumps on the wall and then pushes off to strike down at some guards below.
Oh, yeah. That was nice.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
For a lot of it is not especially exciting looking sword fights.
I don't know. This is where you start to see a lot more of people getting slashed and blood spurting. And then I like
that stuff's cool. Love all the blood. Really do.
That's happening in this scene. And then I do love the Conan going against these two so much that the column freaking breaks and falls down.
Well, that's that's my favorite funny part. Thorgrim tries to smack Arnold with his giant hammer. Sorry, Conan with his giant hammer, and ends up taking down the whole snake pillar. Yeah, and like Thorgrim just stops and looks at his hammer, like all embarrassed.
Yeah, and then Conan is gone, and he kind of sneaks away from that point. But
yeah,
good stuff, man. I thought this was probably one of its strongest action beats to this point of the movie.
It is the strongest action beat to the point of the movie, which is not saying much for the action of this movie, unfortunately.
It could be definitely better paced, for sure.
Then you got the final fight at the old graveyard.
Right.
I really dug the stunt guys falling off the horses. And
that was impressive.
Rolling into the pit of spikes. That's all real and very cool looking.
Were the spikes were real?
No, the guys falling off the horses.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was all practical for sure. And like I was even like, man, even the horses are going down. Dang, like how do you?
Well, the horses are especially trained to do that.
Yeah.
But like still falling off the horse and making sure you don't land on any of the spikes in the wrong way.
Because every time I think of somebody just getting thrown off a horse on purpose, I'm like, holy crap, like Superman got severely injured this way off a horse.
Different story for Christopher Reeve. No, you should watch some behind the scenes stuff of like specially trained horses that just fall on command. Wow. It's really impressive stuff.
I believe it because again, like as some of my notes that I have here is like, man, they're pulling this off again and again. This with these people getting thrown off horses, and it's like that's gonna be brutal punishment.
So in this fight, you got Thorgrim falls to Arnold's clever giant spike trap by
putting his helmet.
Yeah, putting the helmet on the pulley system or whatever, and that causes a giant spike to sneak up behind him and get him.
Yeah.
And then
it's a giant spike.
It's huge. It was like, how does he have the time to do this? It doesn't matter. It's fun.
Basically takes up his whole torso.
Yeah. And then he goes to a final fight with Rexor.
Right, and he's looking like he's getting beat up there a bit.
Yeah, and Val's ghost appears out of nowhere. As promised. She says, even if I was dead, I would come back to life to fight with you. And there she is in like full Valkyrie uniform. There is some really cool costumes and uniforms in this movie. There's some really cool stuff. Like everything that the Cult and Doom wears is awesome looking, very menacing. Really liked everybody's costume work in this movie, exception of what Val's wearing. You didn't like the Valkyrie
uniform?
Uniform?
It looks awful.
Like the bright silver.
I was like, man, good thing it was quick. If that stayed on the screen any longer, there'd be a problem.
That's fair. And also, like as you were saying a second ago, special shout out to like some of the sets on this movie are the big sets are really impressive.
Yeah, just the whole
the Temple of Set.
Is that the one with the snake that they killed earlier in the movie? Yeah, that looked really cool.
Great set. You have the temple with the stairs, Thulsa Doom's big speechifying place, and
whatever place, the mountain or whatever, power
and the
mountain.
snake orgy room. All huge sets looking great.
Nothing felt small or like you're on a crazy set or something. Even when they went to these cities and stuff like that, I think they did a good job of making you feel like you were in a city and not just like, we built this really quick, like it looked good.
Anyway, Rexor is the one who's holding the sword that Conan's dad made in the beginning of the movie, and Conan literally breaks the damn thing in half.
Breaks
swing
the
with his sword.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bummer that sword got broken, because it's a beautiful looking sword. The swords in this movie are gorgeous looking.
Yeah. No, they are.
All very distinctive. You can know whose sword it is right away. If someone else picked it up, like, oh, that's actually Conan's sword or something like that.
I'm guessing it has to be something.
They match their fighting styles.
Right. I'm guessing, though, it's like a breaking the sword. It's kind of like shedding your past type of deal. Getting rid of the baggage. Yeah,
he's overcome. And he doesn't even realize that it's his dad's sword until after he's like dispatched with Rexor. He's like, oh.
Yeah, he like holds it up in celebration. Doesn't he do his whole pit celebration thing again?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
But he's sad at first about the sword being that sword. But and he uses that broken sword to chop off Thulsa Doom's head, and it takes multiple swings to do it, which is great.
It is great. Gets it, huge blood splatter, and then has to make a couple more chops to eventually get the head off, and then he just tosses it. Holds it up first to present it, and then just tosses it down the steps, and then everybody takes their light out and leaves. It's great.
And then Conan does one last hammer toss with an oil lamp to burn down the temple.
Oh, yeah. Very Olympic, like looking like spins to throw it.
Just one last shot of Arnold's incredible physique.
Yeah. But it's another great moment, as we said earlier, when he goes to take out Doom and he's trying to talk his way out of it. And good stuff.
Yeah, well, it's impressive that character work in this movie far surpasses the action.
Yeah. Yeah, to be honest, I really did. I was kind of surprised the action was not as much there as I thought.
Yeah.
Still good stuff.
I gave it a 2.5 for action.
Whoa. That's a little low.
Is it, though? I mean, what looked cool? Like, really
I thought there was... there was stuff that looked cool. I don't think there was anything that was bad. Like, I don't think there was anything that was like, oof, like, that was terrible.
If you're going to do some sword fighting, though, I mean, like, I want to see some actual sword play. I mean, I don't need it all to be Errol Flynn in Adventures of Robin Hood, but, like, some parrying maybe be nice.
Oh,
it's all just like, one chop dead, one chop dead.
To be fair, in the snake orgy scene, where it really felt like that, I feel like most of them were high.
Yeah, I get it.
So,
it makes sense to the characters and all that, and Conan is the strongest man alive.
Sure.
It's tough to go in a decent fight with him, but it's still not that interesting to watch.
There's definitely a lot of stabs in the back kind of deal. Mm-hmm. I feel they had some stuff that was fun, though. So I went 3.
Okay, well, that's still not a big difference. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, mentor, sidekick. A lot of sidekicks in this.
A lot of sidekicks. Subutai
is Conan's first ally, a thief who was tied up behind the witch's shack for the wolves to eat.
Yeah.
He's played
thief
by
and archer.
Mm-hmm. Played by Jerry Lopez, who was a professional surfer from Hawaii.
I read that up to the other day. I was like, wow, okay.
He really didn't do much. He didn't do anything before this really at all, and just about nothing afterwards. It's just too bad because he's good in this. He is,
and really does deliver some pretty good humor.
He is genuinely funny in this movie.
Yeah, I really, I'm here to be what is it, the lunch to the wolves or so, whatever. I forget the exact line was funny. When they're high in the city before he punches the camel, he's starting to make fun of Conan, and he's like, "Look at you, you're so big. Like, what kind of thief is your size or whatever?" Like,
after he punches the camel, he makes all the noise. You could never be a thief.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like
there was some really good fun dialogue with that.
I thought it was funny that when Conan and Val are using a rope to climb the Temple of Set, he's like free climbing. It's like no rope for him, and Val is like making fun of them. First, you don't even have a rope, and like, oh, that's why he didn't have a rope, because he can just free climb this stuff. He's that good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good archer, right? He's taking plenty of people out with his archery skills.
Yeah. That's most of his action is through his archery, though.
Yeah, and then of course
he's got a couple of good cuts with the sword, but also it's always just one quick. That's the whole movie.
In the ending action beat, when he doesn't have his arrows, is kind of when he's like, and then he needs help from the wizard, to help him out. So, and he's got some good facial expressions as well too. Like again, when they come to the snake orgy, he's like, "Oh,
this is paradise, huh?"
Yeah,
I really liked that. He's the one who saves Conan from being crucified.
Yeah.
Returning the favor from the beginning of the movie.
Right.
Because it could have been just easily just Val, but no, it's just him by himself coming to get him.
Yeah.
And speaking of Val, she's effing cool. Like right from the jump.
Yeah. She's, making fun of them and their thievery.
Mm-hmm. Just happens to be there to rob the temple the exact same time they are.
Yeah, and she's just like, "You want to live forever?" Comment keeps coming up, like basically calling out their man card, and gets them to go do some stuff, I guess, and she's also very capable. Takes out a lot of guys herself.
She's sneaky, smart, good fighter, and as horny for Conan as he is for her.
Yeah, it was a nice little relationship. I liked it. Even the once we got through the sex montage, you still see them, like, of course, drinking and laughing together. It looked legit. Like, it looked pretty good.
Yeah, genuinely sad when she dies.
Yeah. Like it was earned. It was not forced, and it was not like, oh, there was no screen time to justify this. There was plenty. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, it starts as lust, and then it becomes something more, obviously, afterwards.
And again, she also is very important in the Conan's face going in the soup, her drunk face trying to tap him to get him as he slides off. That was all great there from her too.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
She's great. She really is.
And then you got the wizard played by Macau.
Yes,
also the narrator, and he's just a constant delight throughout the whole movie.
I love this dude. I love every time I see him in anything.
Sure,
he's a good time. Go for it. Sorry.
Okay, my favorite scene is when he saves Subutai's life.
Mm-hmm.
But after he saves his life and stabs the guy who's about to kill Subutai, the weight of his armor just takes control of him, and he just falls backwards like a turtle. Yeah, he's like, I can't. It's too heavy.
Yeah, I love too when he's what was he saying? I'm a wizard, and he's talking to Conan when they first meet, and then he's like trying to intimidate Conan, and like, I forget Conan's reply, but it's something like kind of sarcastic. Again, great, just hero. Like, he just has this sarcastic like smirk to himself that makes you love Conan. And they just start laughing with each other and stuff like that. And it's a fun relationship that he seems to be building with all these sidekicks. Like, there's not really a dud with any single sidekick, and he has screen time with each sidekick almost individually. Yeah,
they all get their time to shine with Conan.
Yeah, and I thought that was really
helpful.
Cool.
They all support him. Yeah, and then special shout out to Max von Sydow for his 5 minutes of screen time.
Yeah,
apparently his son was a huge fan of the books, and he just did it as something cool for his kid.
But he delivers the hell out of that speech he's given. So.
Apparently, that was I guess they must have done it early on, but that was Arnold Schwarzenegger talked about that was the first Fiend with a serious dramatic actor, and he blew him away. He's like, Arnold's like, wow.
I don't belong here.
Yeah, kind of exactly.
Yeah.
So what'd you give Sidekick?
I went 4.
I did too.
Yeah. I thought they were all pretty dang good. You can't go wrong with that.
Let's see. Let's talk about. Actually, so the only thing I got to say afterwards is a budget of $20 million for this movie, which is a little over $63 million today, and the worldwide gross for the movie was like six. Now there's varying reports, but at least $68 million, which would have been over $216 million today.
Wow.
So this is a good size hit.
Yeah. Dang.
Mm-hmm. So final score for me was a 15.
I have it as a 16.
Okay, 15 and a half.
Yeah, I mean, I guess regardless, it puts it in the 2 spot.
Yeah.
So, putting that in. Yeah, so that means we have First Blood, number 1, Conan the Barbarian, 2, Road Warrior at 3, 48 Hours at 4, and Class of 1984, shocker, in the 5 spot. Eye of the Jury gets pushed out of the top 5.
It had a nice run.
It did. It did. Higher than I thought. But, again, I think it was fun to see things going on in this movie that I didn't catch for how many times I've rewatched this movie. I think I have a newfound appreciation for just how much fun Arnold was in this role and really nailed what was asked of him. And the sidekicks all really being useful was really cool. James Earl Jones still freaking holds up as this awesome villain. And yeah, I guess the bummer is kind of like, the action gets a bit stale and it could be paced better, and that doesn't hold up as well.
A lot of the action's just not that impressive. It's fine. The character work is what really saves this movie for being as interesting as it is, and the acting. Gets the job done. Really
Still
good movie.
time.
Really good movie.
Really good movie. I'm glad I own it still. It's great.
Yeah.
All right, man. I guess that kind of covers it. We are going to have...
We're out of movies.
We're out.
For 1982.
Yeah, that's it. We've done it. We've done 24 movies. And so our next step, we're going to have one more episode, and that episode is going to be our kind of season finale. We're going to do some awards, kind of talk about our rankings and our list a little bit more, and send us off for the completion of season 1. And yeah, we'll keep everybody informed on upcoming future seasons. All right. You good?
I'm good.
All right. That is it for us. Please show your support for the podcast by leaving a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, or wherever you happen to listen to the show. Also, sharing is caring. Be sure to follow us on social media to get the latest show updates. You can contact us by emailing at filmbrochamp@gmail.com or find us by searching for the hashtag FilmBroChamp. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Film Bro Championship Podcast. Peace out, everyone.
King Conan. I want it now. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Stop it.
We all do.
Give me King Conan. This is the legacy sequel I want.
Because it fits. You see that ending.